Hey, yo, what is up, my fellow Shizzlers? It's your boy, FizzleTheHizzle, aka Ben here. Bringing guys a new video today. Gonna be doing the AABL season recap for your Tampa Bay Buizels in the Red League. So, I wanted to do this video. It seemed pretty fun to me, and here I am. It was really fun to prepare all the slides and everything, so definitely a plus for that. And sorry if my voice sounds really weird because I'm kind of sick, so that's an L. But basically what this video is, I'm going to be going through every single member of my draft in order, and I'm going to be talking about how it performed, if I would draft it again, stuff like that, and go through its stats, and then talk about how my performance in general. So definitely stick around. Like the majority of the video is me going through every team member and looking at its stats and telling how I performed with it. So yeah, man, I'm really excited for this video, and these slides took a while, man, so if you guys want to hit that like button down below, I'd appreciate it, man. Definitely took a while, and yeah, man, let's just get started. So first off, your Tampa Bay Buizels drafted the team on the left of the screen: Jirachi, Bustable, Dolphin, Kofag, Sneasel, Regi, Mega Dancy, Suicune, Mortar, and Thunder T. I'm going to be going in order of the draft, the order that I actually drafted them in. So my first pick in the entire draft was Jirachi, the boy Jirachi. It went to 8 games, had 3 kills and 4 deaths. Now regarding the stats of the Pokemon, the document for the AABL was not updated. It stopped updating after like, what, week 5? So I had to go through every replay and look for every game that the Mon came to, every kill that it got, every death. So again, hit that like button for the effort. So yeah, man, it went to 8 games, 3 kills, 4 deaths. I feel like I was kind of torn between 2 sets the entire year. Like, it was either Jirachi with Wish Protect, stuff like that, or it was Scarf. And I feel like I could have performed better with Jirachi in general. Like, it has so much versatility with it, and I feel like I wasn't able to use it to that extent, you know what I mean? But it did come through to a lot of games. Like, Scarf Jirachi definitely helps out with things that are slower Scarfers, and it's a really good rocker. I'm really happy with this Pokemon. I don't think I performed well with it because I feel like it should have done so much more. The stats alone don't even say it. Like 3 kills, 4 deaths, I don't even care about it. I just feel like with all the sets that I ran like those 2 archetypes, and yeah, man, I feel like I could have done so much better with this Mon, but I would 100% draft this Mon again to try to get a restart and try to use it again because it's really fun, man. It's so much versatility, and you don't know what set it's going to be until you actually play it. So, yeah, man, Jirachi is really fun, and I really like the Mon. It's pretty fun. So, second pick in the draft, we dip down to our tier 2 pick, and that's going to be Joe, our Buzzwole here. Went to 6 games, 3 kills, and 2 deaths. Now, this thing is interesting, right? Buzzwole's a really good Mon. It's a really good defensive wall. Like, its typing makes it so that not a lot of things break through Buzzwole on the physical end. Obviously, besides flying types. Like, Mega Pinsir, this is Mega Pinsir food for days. But I feel like I haven't brought it that much. The one thing that I'm kind of disappointed in is not bringing it in the finals against Dan, because he brought a Pangoro set and a Zygarde set that were basically walled by Buzzwole, even though HP flying from that Zygarde does about half. We could potentially Ice Punch that and then Ice Shard from Dolphin, but enough of the finals, man. I choked, he played great. End of story. So man, I feel like this was either really bulky or it was like Scarf or Bandit. I used a lot of sets on this thing. Like, I remember running Scarf at one point, and 3 kills for something of this caliber is kind of disappointing, honestly. But as a bulky Mon, it performed really well, I feel like, with Sub Roost and stuff like that. So I would probably draft this thing again. I just feel like it's really underwhelming, especially for an offensive set. Now, that sounds crazy considering its attack stat, but when I used it, it didn't feel like a true wall breaker, you know what I mean? It gets really good coverage as well. I just feel I didn't perform well with it, I feel like, so that's probably one thing. I would consider drafting it again, just to have a second chance at using it, and if I don't like using it the second time, then I'm probably not going to draft it again, you feel? But I like Buzzle, man. It's a really good mon. And I feel like tier 2 was a really good spot for me to take it. So that's the main reason I drafted it, because it was such a steal. So my third pick in the draft, I chose the potential star of the team, Mega Dancy. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I played really poorly with Mega Dancy. I sacked it left and right the entire season. I didn't get any Rock Polish or Calm Mind sweeps like I hoped to. So I played with it really badly, but did go to 9 games, 6 kills, and 5 deaths. Like I said, I was just sacking it left and right. It did get 6 kills in the season, so that's not the worst ever. Mega Dancy, I feel like you're usually going to run 3 attacks and like Stealth Rock, Rock Polish, or Calm Mind. And like it's a really good mon. It's one of my favorite megas that I've used. I just haven't used it well. That's basically a summary of like most of the mons in these drafts. I feel like they're good mons. I just haven't played with them well. Because I failed to get like any sort of sweep or Dancy breaking through anything. Like it just comes in and gets a Moonblast kill and that's it. Like it hasn't sweeped anything. That was more for the Thunder T, which we'll get into later. But yeah, I like Mega Dancy as a mon. I would definitely draft it again. I actually have drafted it again in a league that I unfortunately had to drop out in. But Mega Dancy is really good, man. Its dual stab is like really hard to switch into on both physical and special sides, so I like it, man. I would definitely draft it again. So going into my next pick, I chose my favorite mon in draft format, Suicune. So it came to 8 games, got 6 kills and 3 deaths. This thing, I feel like, performed really well, and just stopping a bunch of things in its tracks with just its fatness, like bulky water with pressure, with like it's one of the best dry rest users in the game. I feel like, especially against the playoff game in the first round, it just dry rest came in clutch, man. I feel like this thing performed really well, because it was just a fat wall that people had to prepare for. Because that's the one thing Suicune does to teams. You have to prepare for it, and people, if you don't have like a stab super effective damage option against Suicune, it can literally just sit there for eternity if you have like rest or something. And I believe one game somebody didn't bring an electric or a grass type, so this thing just sat in front of everything. Hence the 3 deaths coming to 8 games. That's really good. Unfortunately, it did die to the Manaphy Death Wish, and it stalled out a Sylveon that potentially ran my team over. So we made that thing struggle to PP, so that was really cool. Suicune is just nasty, man. I got 6 kills with like Scald and Ice Beam and stuff, but I would 110% draft this thing again just because it's so good, and it's like my favorite mon to draft format, like I said. And so yeah, I would draft this thing again. Moving on to my next pick, I have Dolphin here. It went to 10 games, 3 kills, and 9 deaths. This thing was horrible. It was atrocious this season, man. Like, it doesn't hit as hard as I want to. I ran Banded Donphan once, and it was in the finals, and I misplayed there with the Photon Geyser, so that didn't work out well. It just died, man. Like, 9 deaths. The fact that it doesn't have reliable recovery kind of sucks, man. It's a good spinner and a rocker, which is what I drafted it for. It gets both. Brought it to 10 games, so it seemed like this was my main rocker on the team besides, like, Registeel or something. And I feel like that put on a lot of pressure on Donphan, because it didn't let me use a lot of offensive sets like Life Orb and like stuff like that. It performed well defensively, but offensively it just like didn't do a lot. 3 kills is like not good, and they're just from like Ice Shard and Earthquake and stuff. So just picking things off. On defensively, you would think that it didn't perform well because it has 9 deaths in 10 games, but I feel like it checked a lot of things I need to check, like Coco, like AV, Donphan for Coco just like put in a lot of work, even though Coco died to the thunderous potential sweep. But yeah, Donphan, I would consider drafting it again. I just feel like I underperformed it, similar to a lot of things in this draft. I didn't use it very well, I feel like, so I would consider drafting it again if I didn't have a rocker already. But I would probably choose something else over Donphan if I needed a rocker. So next in the draft, I chose Sneasel. 5 games, 5 kills, and 1 death. This thing, I'm just not a fan of, honestly. Like, I draft Sneasel a lot in drafts, and like it doesn't hit hard, man. Like 95 base attack, even with a Life Orb or a Choice Band, like it doesn't hit hard. And you'd think that I wouldn't say that since it got 5 kills in 5 games. Like it only put in work that one time where I brought Choice Banded Sneasel and I got like 3 kills, and that's it. Like 95 base attack is just really not good, but drafted it for a Pursuit Trapper and knockoff spam, and that's what I got it for, and it performed well in that regard, but I don't think I would draft this thing again. I would get another Dark type or Night Shard spammer before I got Sneasel, because it's just weak, man. But the speed tier is really good, 115, so can't complain about that. I don't know if I would draft this thing again, just because I'm just not a fan of it, man. I'm just not a fan. And it did get 1 death, so it didn't die a lot, unlike my Mega Dancy. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't know if I would draft it again. So yeah. Next in the draft, we have this thing. Throw zeros on your screen because I didn't bring it a single time. It didn't get any kills or deaths because of that. And Drampa, I would never draft again. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Every matchup it has, it's just like gross. And we didn't have a really good Trick Room user on our team besides like Kofagrigus. So it was really hard to fit Drampa on the team. The reason I got Drampa is because I needed a dragon, right? But I'm not gonna get another tier 5 dragon. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I would get like a tier 3 dragon before. Like if I'm in the 5th round or something and I don't have a dragon, I'll probably pick it up and get like Tyrantrum or Dragalge or something. Because I feel like those would perform better and have better matchups than like Drampa here. Because it's just so slow that it's hard to get in on things and force switches. Its typing is kind of weird too. Like it's weak to Fighting, Dragon, Ice, and Fairy. And they're all really good offensive typing, so it's hard to get this thing in a good matchup. And yeah, man, I don't know if I'm not going to draft Drampa again. I'm going to be straight up honest. I know I haven't brought it a single time this season, but I feel like it just doesn't have the matchups that it does. Unless you have really good Trick Room users, then you're not going to have a fantastic time with this. So next in the draft, we decided to grab your boy Osiris, the Kofagrigus. 3 games, 3 kills, and 3 deaths. This thing was really underwhelming. Like, I like this thing as a mon. I had great success to it in the DCDL, the first half of this DCDL, and other seasons like that, but this season it kind of underperformed, man. Like, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. It was really clutch when it needed to. Like, Hawlucha, Kofagrigus just hard walls that, and it has really good matchups sometimes, but it underperformed this season, I feel like, and it died all the times that it came to. Died to every game that it came to. So yeah, man, I didn't perform well with it. I feel like it has a lot of utility. Like I didn't use Trick Room Nasty Plot a single time this season just because I thought defensive was just better. So definitely my fault. I should have done more things with it, make my opponents prepare for every single set that it has. But that's just my fault. It did get 3 kills though, so that's pretty clutch. Yeah, man, Osiris is a good mon. I would definitely draft it again if I needed. If my team was weak to fighting spam like this one, like Sneasel, Registeel, stuff like that, those things get bopped by fighting types and Drampa as well, which is garbage. Well, it's not garbage. I just don't like it. I drafted Osiris to handle those fighting types, so if not, Hawlucha would just run my fade. So yeah, man. Kofag, I would definitely draft again. I feel like I just need to perform better with it as a coach, so that's all it comes down to. Next up, we have the boy Registeel, man. 5 games, 6 kills, and 2 deaths. This thing has like the 3rd most amount of kills in my entire draft, dude. Like 6 kills with Registeel coming from like Zap Cannon and Toxic and stuff like that. Rocks as well. This thing came in clutch. I really like Registeel, man. Makes your similar to Suicune. It makes your opponents have to have a really good stab attack, like fighting or ground or fire. One of those really good stab attacks in order to knock this thing out, because it's just fat, man. It's just fat. It's a really good rocks user, and had a lot of fun with it with the Zap Cannon strat. It bent over in the finals, but it got 2 kills that match with Toxic, so not complaining about that. This thing I would definitely draft again because it's just fat. If I don't have a fat rocker if my rockers are like Jirachi or Mamo and they're really offensive, then I would definitely grab Regi later. Just have that fat presence that can set rocks and just be an annoyance for teams. And you can see that in my entire draft, I had a really defensive draft, like Jirachi to some extent, Buizels, Dolphin, Kofag, Regi, Suicune, Vileplume. Those things are really defensive. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I whacked my elbow in the desk. So yeah, man, my draft is really defensive with only a couple of offensive options. So Regi fit well on my team, and I would definitely draft it again, man. Let me tell you. So next up in our draft, we drafted Mortar. 2 games, 2 kills, 1 death. Not a fan. I'm just not a fan of Mortar. Like I always say, I never draft fires just because I'm not a fan of it. Like, fires, I feel like are the least useful out of the cores because water, you need your ice resist. If you don't have an ice resist, then you're done. So if your team is weak to earthquake, you need a grass type. Fires just don't do it for me, man. And Mortar played well in the games that it came to. Got a couple flame body burns against this arena. Sorry, Ian. It killed things with Fire Blast, and that Mach Punch set against the Weavile was cool. If I didn't run like Modest, that Mach Punch would have killed him. That would have been clean, man. It would have had 3 kills. But yeah, man, Mortar, I feel like, did well to the games it played with. I just didn't justify it bringing it because of, like, I just don't like it. It doesn't have good matchups a lot of the time, even though it hits really hard. I just don't see myself drafting it again, honestly, so yeah, I'm not going to draft this thing again. I'd rarely draft fires in general. So yeah, man, that's that. Next up, we have our Vileplume. 4 games, 1 kill, and 2 deaths. I really like Vileplume, man. It's a really good tier 5 grass type. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's not resisting Earthquake. So that was a big problem with Zygarde. In the finals, I misplayed that. I should have gone into Vileplume instead of Suicune because it just was pretty set up at that point. That was a huge misplay. But Vileplume is really good, man. Strength Sap is a busted move. It's just a busted move. Like, you just heal up to full every single time, even if it's like a special attacker. Those things have like 60 base attack anyway, so you can just heal back to full anyway. And it's really hard hitting too with like Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, HP Ice, stuff like that. It has 120 special attack, I feel like 110 maybe, something like that. It's really good. But it performed well in the games that it did come. It only died twice of the 4 games that I brought it. So it was a really good wall, and it forced your opponents again to prep to have like a stab, psychic move, stab, flying, fire, ice, stuff like that. And coverage enough isn't usually enough, like, to take this thing down on the physical end. But I would draft Vileplume again, man. If I didn't have a grass already, and if my team was like really weak on the physical end, I would definitely grab Vileplume again. So in conclusion, I would definitely draft this thing again. Now, next up, we have the monster itself, man. Raijin, our Thunderous T, went to 12 games in the entire 13-game season, including playoffs. 25 kills and 4 deaths. This thing was... oh my gosh. This thing is amazing, dude. This thing is phenomenal. Could have had a couple of sweeps, especially in that conference finals. If I didn't get the low roll on the Tyranitar, that would have been a 6-0. And this thing would have had like 30 kills, dude. This thing is an absolute monster, man. 25 kills. This is the most kills I've ever gotten with a single Mon, and I definitely counted right on this. But tell me in the comments below if I didn't. I checked all the replays of my games, and this thing is just an absolute monster. It hits so hard. 145 special attack is insane. It has a really solid speed tier too. Like 101 base speed is like phenomenal as well. And it outspeeds the base 100s, which is huge. It's a phenomenal Z user. My Z users were, I believe, Jirachi, Grandpa, and Thunderous T. This thing puts in a lot of work. It's a really good choice Scarfer. That Ferroseed, I use this to counter Ferroseed. It had like Z, Focus Blast, and Defog. That set really worked well, and it got like 4 kills that game too. Thunderous T is like one of my favorite mons in general, and only died 4 times, which I think is just mind-blowing, man. It won me every single game. So if the Red League was doing season awards like MVP and stuff, I would 100% nominate this thing, and I feel like other people would too, because it just got 4 kills in so many games. I just love this thing, man. It's one of my favorite mons to use in draft format. I would 115,000% draft this thing again, man. Put in so much work. The boy Regi just tore apart teams, man, if it had the matchup. And it has really good coverage on both sides. You didn't see physical except for that Manaphy sweep with wild charge and stuff like that and knockoff. But this thing outperformed. I thought Mega Dancy was going to be the kill leader. No, it was Regi by a long shot, man. And yeah, man, I really enjoy using this thing, and I would 100% draft it again. So that concludes that portion of the Red League AABL season recap for your Tampa Bay Buizels. And talking about my performance in general, I am the AABL Red League finalist, which is more than I could ever ask for, honestly. I expected to make playoffs just because of how good my team was, my draft in general, buying some like pieces like Mortar and Grandpa. I feel like I played really well. I struggled in the beginning. I went 1-2, but then we finished the regular season out with a 7-3 record, which I think was really good on my end. Towards the beginning of the season, I was very new to the format. This was like my 4th draft league ever. But as I continued getting in more leagues, and over time in this league specifically, I learned a lot of things, man. I learned a lot of things, like prep. I learned what each mon can do. I learned how to prep for Z Rain Dance Tailglow Manaphy. I actually swept somebody with Z Rain Dance Tailglow Manaphy in another league. So appreciate you, Jake. Thank you for showing me that strat. But now, man, I really enjoyed our performance this season. I feel like it was a great comeback. 2nd in the conference and like 3rd in the entire league. So definitely performed well at that point. In playoffs, I'm really happy with the way I played in the first round and the semis, the conference semis, or the league semis rather. Really happy with the way I performed there. Not happy at all with the way I played in the AABL finals. I choked twice, man. I choked twice. I'm not gonna get too into it because I'm not that salty, honestly, because I didn't expect to make finals in the first place. But the way I left in Dolphin against an Necrozma, that was a choke. I didn't know Photon Geyser went through abilities, so that kind of made it so that my team just got swept by Zygarde. And another point in the AABL finals, not switching in Vileplume on the Zygarde, because it could take a +1 thousand arrows from the range it was at and string Sap up and then just get all that health back and just make Zygarde a non-threat. So I went to Suicune instead. That was a huge misplay. I thought he would T-Arrows twice, but instead he Dragon Danced. So that was a huge misplay. That cost me the game, unfortunately. So props to him. Brought a great set with HP Flying to counter the Bustable as well. Yeah, man, we finished 7-3 and 9-4 if you want to count the playoffs. But I'm really happy with the way I played, man. Like I said, you're going to be seeing more draft league content. This was the first season in any draft league, not like the DCDL or the CSL or anything like that. This is the first season where I recorded every single team builder, every single battle. So, gonna pat myself on the back, show some love on the like button if you enjoyed that. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Dan, for making this league possible, man. I had loads of fun, even though I missed a Focus Blast week 1. Loads of fun, man. I really happy with this league. Thank you so much, Jed. We never give Bionic Soup, my boy Jed, props enough. He made this layout for the draft analysis. He made the thumbnails. It was for the entire league too, for the yellow league, for the blue, for the red league. It's pretty tight, man. So props to him. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. It really means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Pieces.